Today we're going to talk about linear equations. Remember to take notes on the video and answer the survey questions at the end. So what is a linear equation? The only operation in a linear equation is addition or subtraction. We multiply and divide with constants only. We do not multiply two variables or divide two variables. So variables in a linear equation contain an exponent of 1. And linear functions can be written in the form of y equals mx plus b. So let's look at some examples of linear equations. 5x minus 3y equals 7. All the exponents are 1. X equals 9. The exponent is 1. 6s equals negative 3t minus 15. And y equals 1/2 times x. In all of these, the variable is 1. The exponent on the variable is 1, and we're multiplying only by a constant. We're not multiplying two variables together. We're just adding and subtracting variables. So not linear equations. 7a plus 4b squared equals negative 8. 4b squared, that makes it not linear because the exponent is not 1. The square root of x plus 5 is not linear. X plus xy equals 1 is not linear because we're multiplying two variables. And y equals 1 over x is not linear because we're dividing by a variable. So let's identify some linear functions. F of x equals 10 minus 5x. Is this a linear function? Yes, we can write it as mx plus b, where m is negative 5 and b is 10. What about g of x equals x to the 4th minus 5? This is not the x has an exponent other than 1. It has an exponent of 4 in this situation. And then h of xy equals 2 times x times y is not linear because two variables are being multiplied. So standard form of linear equations is ax plus by equals c, where a is some number greater than or equal to 0. And a and b are not both 0. One can be 0, but not both. Y equals negative 2x plus 3 is a linear equation. The exponents are 1, and we're adding variables. So we're going to add 2x to both sides in this situation to get in standard form. So we have all of our x and y on one side and our constant on the right side. So let's try to get this in standard form. Remember, a has to be greater than or equal to 0, and a is the coefficient with x. So we have negative 3x minus 3y equals negative 2. We just subtracted the 3y over from both sides to get them on the same side. And then we have to multiply by a negative 5 so that a is greater than 0, so that the coefficient with x is greater than 0. 3x minus 6y minus 9 equals 0. The first thing we need to do is add 9 to both sides to get it in standard form. If you notice, each coefficient has a greatest common factor of 3. We can divide this equation by 3 and get x minus 2y equals 3, so that the greatest common factor is 1. We can do this as long as we divide each term of the equation by our value, what in this case was 3. So now we're going to look at x-intercepts. The x-intercept is the x value when y equals 0. So for 3x minus 4y plus 12 equals 0, we're going to substitute 0 in for y, because that's how we find the x-intercept. We substitute 0 in for y. When we do that, we're going to get 3x plus 12. So then we're going to subtract the 12 over to get 3x equals negative 12. So we just subtracted 12 from both sides. And then we're going to divide by 3 to get x equals negative 4. So the graph crosses the x-intercept, the x-axis at negative 4, 0. That is the x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis. The y-intercept, the value of y when x is 0. So that means we're going to plug in 0 for x and then solve from there. We subtract 12 over from both sides to get negative 4y equals negative 12, and then we're going to divide by a negative 4 to get y equals 3. The graph crosses the y-axis at 0, 3. So the y-intercept is 0, 3. So we're going to use these x and y intercepts to graph. We know the x-intercept is negative 4, 0, and we know the y-intercept is 0, 3. So we're going to graph 0, 3 on our coordinate plane, and we're going to graph negative 4, 0 on our coordinate plane. We are then going to use a straight edge to connect the two dots, the 2 points on our graph, and then we have our line for the function 3x minus 4y plus 12 equals 0. Here's your survey questions, and I hope you have a great weekend.